Abraham Maslow developed a theory, the hierarchy of needs, in the 1940s and 50s, for understanding human motivation, management training, and personal development, and it is regarded as the seminal work in this field. In his book, he creates a pyramid of needs, which must be satisfied from the bottom up in turn. You will see from the pyramid that the lowest level of needs is physiological, such as food, water, and shelter. The next level is safety and security, such as safety from violence, security of work, and maintenance of the family unit. They all have to do with a man's yearnings for a predictable, orderly world. Once a person has enough food and security, he needs to feel a sense of belonging and acceptance, whether it comes from large social groups such as supporters clubs, team games, street gangs or colleagues, or it comes from small social connections such as one's family. The next level of need is for self-esteem and to receive the esteem of others. This usually requires people to have an activity that gives the person a sense of contribution, to feel accepted and self-valued. This seems to be particularly true of actors. People with low self-esteem need respect from others. They may seek fame or glory, which again depends on others. Unfortunately, it can result in infamy, such as where quiet or disturbed persons commit gun atrocities to get their moment of glory. Badly behaved children are similarly seeking attention. These first four needs are known as deficiency needs. The individual does not feel anything if these needs are met, but he feels anxious if they are not. This is very similar to the hygiene and motivator elements of Hertzberg's work environment theory, which we see later in this lesson. Only when the lower order of needs of physical and emotional well-being are satisfied are we concerned with higher order needs of influence and personal development. For example, it is only when one is comfortable within a group, which is level 3, that one can start to consider achieving some status within that or other groups at level 4. Conversely, there is little point expecting strong teamwork from a team member at level 3 when his house is being repossessed or bulldozed, which is level 2. From a career development point of view, it is essential that management provides a structure for the attainment of status, responsibility and reputation at level 4, and personal fulfillment at level 5. The top slice of the pyramid contains our need for self-actualization. Whereas the deficiency needs may be seen as basic and can be met and neutralized, that is, they stop being motivators in one's life, self-actualization and transcendence are growth needs. That is, they are enduring motivators and drivers of behaviour. It is only when the deficiency needs are dormant that a person can be filled with a desire to learn, explore, discover, and create a better understanding of the world around him. He wishes to realise all of his potential for being an effective, creative, mature human being. Maslow described self-actualization as an episode in which the powers of the person come together in a particularly and intensely enjoyable way, and in which he is more integrated, more open for experience, more idiosyncratic, more perfectly expressive, more humorous, more ego-transcending, more fully human. In fact, Maslow suggests some personal characteristics which are indicative of persons who have attained self-actualization. Here are some of them. A keen sense of reality, regarding problems in terms of challenges rather than as personal complaints or excuses, reliance upon one's own experiences and judgment, having a few close friends rather than many superficial relationships, and also an acceptance of others. If we apply the model to aviation safety, we can see that the ideal is to have a mentally and physically satisfied pilot, who is confidently working as a member of a highly skilled team in order to achieve a trouble-free and safe flight. The purpose of motivation is to achieve a reward, perhaps a financial one, or to achieve a goal, such as a qualification. The value of the reward is obviously highly relevant, such as a large performance bonus. But also relevant is the expectation of reward. For example, how likely is it that one will attain an ATPL qualification, and how will that attainment be appreciated by others? Together, these two factors can be called the utility of the reward. Commensurate to that utility of the reward will be the effort applied to achieve the necessary performance to reach that goal. Both natural ability and learned skills will be applied to the task, but they are also likely to be indicators of how realistic the goal is. As a result of the individual's performance, the rewards emerge, which may be intrinsic, such as feelings of pride or achievement, or they may be extrinsic, such as pay and promotion. One aspect of reward value that we need to look at in greater detail is job satisfaction. Without job satisfaction, it is difficult to motivate an employee to perform well, let alone to improve his performance. Elements in this job satisfaction are its financial rewards, management policies, colleagues, the working environment, and targets. Job satisfaction is measurable through specifically designed questionnaires and interviews, and companies spend a great deal of time trying to achieve a happy and thereby an efficient workforce. The two main tools used to increase job satisfaction are job enrichment and job enlargement, with job rotation as a lesser option. Job enrichment involves active participation of staff in policy and the decision-making process. Thus, cabin crew are involved in decisions as to the timing of passenger meals. Job enlargement increases the number and variety of tasks undertaken. For example, a commander may delegate additional tasks to the first officer, whose role is thereby enhanced. This is called horizontal enlargement. Vertical enlargement increases an employee's control over his own tasks, for example by being involved in his work roster. Finally, in this topic of motivation, we will look at the two-factor theory of Frederick Herzberg. He agreed with the Maslow theory that man is not content with the satisfaction of lower-order needs at work, and will seek the gratification of higher-level needs. He developed the Maslow theory by proposing a two-factor model of motivation, based on the notion that the presence of one set of job characteristics, called hygiene factors, leads to dissatisfaction at work, whilst another and separate set of job characteristics or incentives, called motivators, leads to satisfaction at work. Thus, satisfaction and dissatisfaction are not on a continuum, with one increasing as the other diminishes, like a seesaw, but they are independent phenomena, like two separate lifts, one above and one below a neutral position. Put another way, satisfaction comes from the job itself, from the motivators, which have the capacity to gratify needs such as achievement, competency, status, personal worth, and self-realization. Whereas dissatisfaction comes from the job environment, from the hygiene factors, such as policies, procedures, supervision, and working conditions. Herzberg concluded that a successful implementation of his theories would have these effects on both the individual and the working group. Let us now look at a slightly different topic in the context of error and behaviour, namely decision-making. As most of the flying of a commercial aircraft is done by the autopilot, the autothrottle, and the navigation computers, the pilot's main roles are now those of system management and decision-making, invariably when there is a problem. Decision-making can be defined as the step-by-step scientific process which is followed in order to reach a balanced and factual decision. It is not the same as deciding, which may be arbitrary or based on emotion, and with which we are not concerned. Fortunately, humans have a number of positive capabilities in their decision-making mechanism. Namely, the ability to make decisions very quickly, if involved in a skill-based behaviour, such as collision avoidance, or rule-based behaviour, such as following a checklist. Humans are also very creative and innovative in finding solutions to problems, which accounts for the continuous development of aircraft design.